Hello, good morning or good afternoon or good day, good moment, whatever it is for you. Maybe I need even a better word than good. Fabulous, wonderful, inspiring. I just hope whatever moment you're in, you're feeling really juicy within yourself. And so I wanted to make this video. It's more of a follow-up and continuation from the last video that I posted regarding communication with significant others, which I became aware this morning when I was talking to one of the most beautiful souls. I just love this woman so much. She just radiates authentic beauty and real rawness, and I was having a really great conversation with her about communication, and she mentioned that she saw just like a blip about my video and how in her relationship, the person she's in a relationship with is having a hard time communicating with her. And so I became aware that in my last video, I just more talked about that you should communicate and the importance of communicating, but I didn't really give tools of how to communicate, and also what makes people not able to communicate, and how not only for the individual who's having a hard time communicating, but how to get your significant other to communicate to you. And this, I was also, I apologize, I'm just referring to my other video if you haven't seen it, but I was also in my last video more referencing and referring to kind of issues between a couple, not necessarily just outside personal things that someone's going through that they're wanting to communicate with the other, but I was more kind of talking about things between the two going on. So I just want to cover a few other areas of communication that I just really didn't even focus on in my last one. My last video is more just emphasizing just the importance of communication, and that whatever you want to say or are feeling within you, to let it out. So how do we let it out, and why do some of us, many of us, have such a hard time communicating? Why? There is so much trauma contained within every individual around the globe, and it's trauma that some of us aren't even aware that we have, and others are aware, which is sort of like the first stepping stone. The awareness is so important and such a huge step from not being aware of yourself. But what do we do with that awareness? And so maybe we have trauma about being really vulnerable and open with our new relationship, because the last relationship we were in, when we opened up and were vulnerable, we got crushed because of it. Or maybe our last, maybe our parents, bless our parents, I know all of our parents are doing the best they can, but we all really carry trauma from our childhood and put it onto our relationships, and specifically with our loving, intimate, significant relationships, someone who's supposed to be your partner and on your team. And kind of depending on how your dynamic was with your opposite sex parent, that is what the kind of the dynamic that you generally attract or reflect and portray upon yourself in your current relationship. It's just kind of a fact of how we psychologically operate, and without even thinking about it. And so one little bit I would just advise you to do is, once you are aware of that, and maybe you're in this current relationship and you're triggered and that trauma starts to get triggered, and you feel yourself being vulnerable and you're going, oh no, when I do this, when I was if you're so aware, you can go, when I was little and I would say this to my dad, he would respond in this way. So now I'm in this relationship and I'm saying these exact same things that I said when I was 5 to my dad. And now how's my boyfriend's going to respond to me this way? We immediately kind of get, and our energy and vibration goes back to being 5, goes back to this moment so long ago. That is not the present moment. This is the key. So with the awareness of having that trauma, you can then have the next step of awareness to go, I am in a new moment. This moment is new. This moment I am creating right now. I'm no longer in my past. I'm not in the future. I am right here. And I have the power to direct this moment. And this is also something I referred to from another video that I talked to about specific trauma I had in relationships, it's not fair. I know fair might not be the best word, but I'm using it. It's not really fair to this new person that you're with to carry the weight of the past and just put it on them and go, well, when I was 5, this happened to me. And when I was in my last relationship, this boy, this girl did this to me. When I was in my last marriage, she said this to me when I did X, Y, and Z. So now that I'm with you and I'm doing these things, you're going to do exactly what she did to me. That is not fair. That was the past. We are now. And so there takes a lot of presence. So kind of my how advice is to be present. Really, really breathe and slow down and pause in that moment where you feel that trigger, where you feel that trauma coming, and really bring your conscious awareness into the now and take note of this new moment and separate it from the past moment. And it does take strength, it takes courage, it takes so much presence. You have to be so aware of the moment that you're in. And once you get there, you can really see the new moment and identify what you feel and what the truth is in this new moment that you're in. There's a reason you left that old moment. There's a reason you left that old relationship. There's a reason you grew out of it. You no longer are. It's already served its purpose. You're now in this new moment. So really bringing yourself to that awareness of your safety in the now, and that the trauma you're feeling is just a feeling. It's a feeling and a memory of the past. It is not about the present, okay? So that is the awareness key, is the feeling you're feeling is not because of what you're in. It's because of what has happened. And so if you can be so aware to recognize that, it can help you shift into the now and go, okay, so what is now? What is this current relationship? And don't expect the worst to come out of it just because the worst happened before. This is a new experience. This is a new experience. And if you can say that to yourself, if you can, in the moment of that trauma, say, to take a little deep breath, this is a new experience. I am creating my reality right now. This is new. This is new. And it will really help you get into this new moment and let go of the old, of the past. And there's going to be some fear. There's going to be fear, but you know what conquers fear is facing it. So while you're feeling that trauma, maybe you start to get a little anxious and breathing. I know I'm saying breathing a lot and it seems so simple, but it's so helpful to just take some breaths and be still and say, I am new right now. This is a new moment. I'm okay right now. I am safe right now. I get to create this new moment. I am so grateful for this new opportunity to write a new story. I want to write a story that I love. I'm done with what happened to me in the past, and I've learned and grown, and now I'm here. So that awareness, getting present, and knowing that you're in a new moment, that can really help. And then in terms of helping someone else, so maybe you're in a relationship with someone who's really quiet and they don't know how to talk, and you really want them to talk to you. You can tell some things on their mind, on their heart. You can tell they're agitated. You can tell they're acting weird. You can just sense it. If you're in a close relationship and have a significant other, especially if you live together, you don't have to though, but you can just kind of pick up on subtle little cues and differences in their energy and vibration, and you can really tell if someone's in a bad mood. I know if anyone knows me, if anyone knows me, you can just tell if I'm in a bad mood. You can tell if I'm not 100% autumn love. You can just spot it from a mile away, and it's obvious. And so if you're in a relationship with me, I'm just going to use myself as an example, and I wasn't talking, and I was clearly something was wrong with me, and I just am really quiet, and this isn't me though, I just say everything. I have an issue of over speaking every emotion and thought, but you could maybe approach me and say, hey Autumn, I love you. Maybe you're not at the point of saying I love you to someone, but I'm going to say that anyways in case you are. The point is to make this person who doesn't want to talk, make this person who's afraid to be open and vulnerable with you, make them feel comfortable, make them feel safe, make them feel loved. The point is not to pull and force anything out of them, but to nourish and create and facilitate a space where they feel supported and loved, and maybe inspired to want to share with you. So saying something like, I love you, you're wonderful, and I care so much about you, and I can just sense that maybe something's going on with you, and I know it's maybe hard to talk about it, but I want you to know that I just really care about you, and I'm here for you. And if you want to talk to me, I would love to listen, and I will not judge you, and I can just be a space of love for you. Even just saying that to someone, even just plain and simple saying that to someone, I want to hear, I care. Even if you're embarrassed, I don't care, I want to be here. I know it's scary. Just, it's kind of saying the elephant in the room, addressing it so real and raw, and that seems so obvious, maybe so simple, but I really believe that it's super helpful. It's super helpful to just talk, talk it out, communicate. There's so much just in us that we don't say, and there's so much that could be said that could help someone. And I am also, though, of the love languages, affirmations are one for me, vocal words. And so it really helps me to hear someone say something to me. Like, I love to hear words. Words just resonate and speak to me. And so I know for some other people it does too, and that's why I'm saying this, to just say to someone, I want to hear about what you're going through. I'm here. I'm sorry if you have any past trauma. I'm sorry if anyone has ever ignored you when you're trying to talk. I'm sorry if what you're going through, you feel embarrassed or shy or nervous or anxious. I am so sorry for whatever you're feeling, but just know I'm here for you. And really just being genuine about it. Because if you're not genuine, don't say it. Because this is the whole point, is to be authentic and genuine and real. And even if it doesn't come out super eloquent and perfect, that other person is going to feel your care for them. And maybe in that moment they won't be able to talk about it, but maybe the next day they'll warm up to it a little bit and be ready and say, hey, they told me that they wanted to hear about this. And to not be judgmental of that other person and their fears and worries, but be understanding and on their side about it. I understand that you're going through this. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's difficult. I want to be here for you. I'm sorry if anyone has ever hurt you in the past. And just really creating that space just with your words. And maybe even give them a hug if they're physically near you. I know on the phone it's hard, but just giving them a hug and telling them that you're there. I love just the line. There's a little drawing I do with this line, but it's just a hand reaching out and it just says, I'm here. Right? I'm here. That's it. That's what love says. Love just says, I'm here. Parentheses, no matter what. And so being that here-ness for someone. Maybe they don't even say anything and they just cry to you. Maybe they just need to cry. Maybe just you telling them that you care is enough to help them work through it. Maybe they just need to hear that someone cares about them. Maybe it doesn't work, but you're trying and you're putting your efforts forth to help this person. And that's really all we can do. And the why so many people don't communicate, there's a number of reasons, but I believe one of the most, the number one reason for not being able to speak is really originating from childhood and having our feelings and emotions really shoved down. So you're crying, stop crying, be happy. You know this, be quiet, shh, always told to shh, be quiet, don't say anything, don't speak up. And we're kind of taught to not speak about our feelings and to be quiet and that it's not good and you should be tough and that shouldn't bother you. And so over time we're just beat down and really made to feel like we shouldn't vocalize anything. And it starts from a young age. And a lot of people never really have the practice of expressing themselves. They don't have the practice of vocalizing their emotions. They don't have the experience. And so then they get into an intimate relationship with someone, a life partner, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, wife, spouse, whatever it is. And they're going through something and feeling something, and they're in this relationship. It's supposed to be super close and dynamic, and they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to share what they're going through. And bless them, because they've never had practice, and maybe their whole life they've been told that they shouldn't talk about things. And so we can't really blame people for not being able to speak and not really having the tools. So just kind of having that understanding from the other person's point of view of maybe this person really doesn't have practice. Maybe they don't know how to speak and they're afraid because they've been told they shouldn't. So now they're kind of doing something that's against what they've always believed. But like I said, helping that person know that it's okay. It's okay to talk about your feelings. And in fact, I want you to. I want to know about you. Sharing that with the person who's afraid to talk, telling them, I want to hear about your day. I want to hear about what you're going through. I want to hear about your highs, your lows. I want to hear about your fears. I want to hear about everything that you're going through, from the littlest things to the biggest things, because we're together and I value you and your heart, and it will help me see you more fully and see all facets of you and understand you and help me give my best self to you. When we really know what someone is experiencing, we can approach them with a little bit of a different energy to help serve them. And letting someone know that. So that's the side of the person that's vocalizing. It's just so important to share kind of reassuring energy with the person who's afraid, and really letting them know that you care and that you want to know, that you want to hear about their feelings. You want to hear about what they're going through. And it's not a burden to you, it's a blessing to you. And there's a quote that goes, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And I just love that quote. And I believe that people but it's great if we can handle and support someone at their worst, and then be able to celebrate and rejoice in their best with them as well. The full spectrum. A lot of wedding vows say for better or for worse, and if that's the case and you're actually vowing to that, then a space to be able to share and communicate about everything would only seem necessary. I believe it's important to not force. You don't want to threaten or yell or get mad at someone for being afraid to talk to you. That's not going to help. Anger and fear is not the way through. Love is. That is why I stress the importance of really just cultivating a loving space and atmosphere for then that person to naturally crawl out of their shell for you. And maybe even prompting questions to them, prompting some simple, basic, open-ended questions to them that help them open up to you a little bit and say, how are you feeling? How can I help you? Is there anything I can do for you? Even I know something that I will say or ask for my own clarification is whatever is bothering you, did I cause it? Is it something that I did or said? And that can be a really helpful question to, at the very least, just ease your mind, because maybe someone's upset and you're wondering, what did I do? Did I upset them? And if you can just simply say, is it something I did? Is it something I did that is bothering you? And hopefully that other person can say yes or no. And if it is, you can say, I would like to work through this and improve and help if it's something I did to bother you. Or if you are that person who's super afraid and vulnerable to speak, at the very least, you can just say to someone, even if they didn't ask you and they're wondering what's going on, asking questions, what's going on, blah, blah, even if you don't have the guts to talk about it, if you can at least say, hey, Autumn, I just want you to know it's nothing you did. That I'm not upset with you about anything. There's some personal things I'm working through. And when I'm ready, or if I'm ready, I will then talk to you about it. But until then, just know it's not about you. And that really helps the person in the relationship it helps ease their mind, because maybe they're going insane thinking, oh my gosh, this person's silent, they must be really mad at me. So even if you don't have the courage to talk about whatever you're going through, to at least keep your partner informed that they're not the cause and that you're just going through some personal things, and if you may be ready at some point, you will open up to them. And that can be extremely helpful, extremely helpful. I know that I will use that if I'm just going through something emotional, in a mood. Yes, I get in moods. Other than peace and love and smiles, I get upset and frustrated and have all the full range of human emotions, all of them. And if I'm in a mood and I can feel myself releasing that mood on my significant other. I'm grateful to be at least aware enough that I'm doing it and say, just so you know, I'm just feeling really emotional right now. I'm going through something and it's not about you. So please do not take my energy personally. And that just helps so much. It really clears the air. It really helps both people feel better. It's like, oh, okay, good. Okay, they know. It kind of, not to say it gives you permission to be in a mood, but it kind of does, and it kind of lets you off the hook a little bit. It does, and you acknowledge that maybe you're being a little brat. Like, hey, I'm being bratty. I know. Some things happened, and I'm just working through it. Please don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with you. You're fabulous. And then the other person that wants to know, they at least have peace and calm, and they know that maybe they should act a little extra loving to you and just kind of be more supportive and not take anything personally. Not take it personally. So that's also super helpful. Just speak out of love, listen out of love. When you're the person that is listening, to try to listen without placing judgment on the other person, and listen from a space of really trying to understand and be in the other person's shoes. Really try to imagine being that person going through that thing, so that you can imagine what you'd want someone else to say to you. I think that can be really helpful when we imagine being the person feeling all the feels. And even if we've never felt it, we can just kind of imagine what it would be like and have a nice response for them that is very supportive and loving and comforting and understanding and not judgmental, and really just letting them know that whatever they're going through, you're going to love them. Because that's often one of the fears of sharing, is that if we share something with our partner, they won't love us. That's like the ultimate fear. If I share what I'm feeling, I will not be loved. And man, oh man, is that a painful feeling. I have felt it. I do feel it. And all we can do is embrace it and face that fear, because if we do share that thing and that person does push us away, they are not deserving of us. That is the bottom line. If we do share and it is too much for someone and they don't like us because of whatever personal thing we're going through, then that is just a good filter. And then it's not meant to be. And the right person will hear you in all your pain and all your triumph and everything, and still be there for you, and see that you're an amazing person regardless of the things you experience, and still love you and support you and help you through, non-judgmental, not trying to control you, just loving you. Thanks for listening. I know this was another little long video, a little long. Per usual, just going off on my love rants, tangents, going down different rabbit holes about love and communication, and hopefully there's a little nugget of goodness for you that you can apply. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, call me, text me, message me, email, whatever you need to do. I would love to support you and help you through in any way I can. I'm not necessarily a pro, however, I have had a good 14 years of relationships, and I know that's not that long compared to a lot of other people, but I have had a full range, full spectrum of different relationships that I learned so much from. I don't regret a single one, as painful as some of them were. They really helped me open up and cracked my heart open and made me really extremely vulnerable to life and such a feeling creature, and really awoken me to what I deserve and the kind of relationship that I believe is the healthiest. And so I'm just sharing from that space of my own heart being shattered and my own relationship failures, really, and my current healthy relationship and what I've learned through this current successful one as well. Successful, whatever that even means, just that I feel good in it, really, and I'm being honest and authentic and always speaking my truth, and I'm being treated very, very good. That's one of the most important things, is just that you're being treated really good. Otherwise, what's the point? We deserve to be treated like kings and goddesses and angels and divine creatures, because we are all of that. All right, I love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. Bless you. May you be at peace. May you be at ease. May you practice your vocal cords and your amazing ears. May you listen to help, to learn, to heal, to grow. May you speak through your insecurities and vulnerabilities. Please do not let your past pain be put upon your present happiness. Please, please remember you're in a new moment and you can create and cultivate the joy that you desire here and now. I love you. Bye.